Hello, this is Kirill from forexboat.com and welcome to the 17th tutorial on MQL4 for beginners. Frankly, I think that the word beginners is not really that relevant anymore. And that's because we've studied so much and we've actually learned so much. We've learned how to code in core MQL4. We've learned how to design basic algorithmic trading strategies. And we've even successfully sent our first orders through an algorithmic trading strategy. And personally, to me, that means quite a lot when studying a new programming language. We'll probably keep the word beginners just because it's part of the course title, but I really do hope that you are noticing progress and you can feel how you're getting better and better and better with every tutorial that we have. And in today's tutorial, we're going to be studying a quite interesting and quite important topic at the same time, and it's called failsafe programming. And simply put, failsafe programming is a set of techniques that allows you to design your code in such a way that will allow you to prevent and account for any errors that can possibly occur. And it is always imperative for us to program for us to code our programs in such a way that they don't contain any inherent errors or bugs within the code itself. But sometimes programs run in such an environment that can cause potential errors, regardless of how well the code is, how good the code is inside the program itself. And let's be honest here, we're working in the foreign exchange market, and it is very dynamic. It is very fast. It can be very volatile at times, and all of those things mean that the programs are often put to their limits, put to the test, and sometimes things can not go as planned, and your program has to account for that. Your program has to make sure that whatever happens on the market, it has a response, and it has fail-safe mechanisms put in place. Because this is very important, because at the end of the day, we're working with money here. We're working with thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars of people's money, of investors' money, and we have to make sure that it is our responsibility to show due care and make sure that our programs have a response to anything that occurs in the market in order to protect this money from any potential mishappenings in the programs or during the runtime of the program. So that's basically what we're going to be studying today. And before we do go ahead with that, we'll quickly recap on what we talked about in tutorial 16 and 15. So in tutorial 16, we had a look at functions, and we understood how functions are structured and what exactly they do, that they can have inputs and they have outputs. We even built a function of our own, which was called myAddition, and it basically just added two values together and returned the result. However, the bottom line of this tutorial, or the takeaway from this tutorial, is the fundamental structure behind any function, and that is that a function always has a name. Then after the name, it is followed by brackets within which you should list the input parameters into the function. In this case, it was just a and b, two integers separated by a comma. And then the function always has, or not always, but often has a return value. And then that return value can be assigned to a variable of your choice, and it can then later be used further down the track in your program. And that's basically everything we needed from this tutorial. In tutorial 15, was the one where we made a major breakthrough, and we sent our first successful order using an algorithmic trading system. And this is the line of code that allowed us to send the order. And we did use the order send function in that case. So what we're going to do now is we'll just copy this part between the two comments, the main part of the code, and we'll paste it into tutorial 17. That way we can close 15 and 16 and just focus on this one now. So first thing that we need to remember is we have to add a property up here at the top. And it's called property script show inputs. As you can remember, we need to add this property because we are working with a script here, and scripts in MQL4 originally are designed to show that pop-up window when you launch them, which normally allows the trader to set the inputs. However, in this particular script, we do have inputs which we want the trader to be able to modify, and so therefore we do need that pop-up window, so we have to put that property back in place. So we'll go ahead and compile that. As you can see, we are getting that same warning that we used to get in tutorial 15, and this warning is related to the order send function. It's telling us that the return value of order send should be checked, and that's something that we're not doing at this stage. So we'll look into that just now, but before we do, I would like to say that it is time that we delete these two lines over here, these two alerts, because the main purpose of these alerts was to tell the trader what values, what take profit and stop loss level values had been calculated, and now because these two values will be actually reflected in the order that we send, these alerts are not really necessary. So we'll just go ahead and delete them, and now we're going to deal with this warning. So to deal with the warning, we need to find out what's going on with that return value of order send. So what I'd like you to do is just highlight order send, the word, and click F1 on your keyboard. This will bring up an MQL4 reference, which describes the function in more detail. And just take a note of this, that you can do that with any function or keyword of MQL4. You just highlight it and click F1, and you will get an MQL4 reference, which can help you out sometimes. So right away we can notice that the order send function has quite a lot of inputs, and we should be fairly comfortable with these by now, because we have used them before to send our first order. And I'll just remind you that we used these first few and we ignored the last three, because the last three were not really vital to us, and they do have default values which we were totally comfortable with. So we just limited ourselves to the first few at this stage. The order send function also has an integer value that it returns. So if we scroll down and we look for that, we'll see a return value section, and here text reads returns number of ticket assigned to the order by the trade server, or -1 if it fails. So we don't need this other part. That's just going a bit into more detail. And so here what we should focus on is that the return value is the number of the ticket assigned to the order, or it is -1 if it fails. So let's quickly put that into our code as a commentary, so we can just see it in front of our eyes. Here we'll just write order send can return ticket number, or -1 if order send failed. So there we go. We know that this function will return an integer, which will be one of those two. So let's account for that now. Ticket, we'll create an integer variable ticket. We won't assign anything right away, but we will assign the return value of order send. Now we know that ticket is either an actual ticket number of an order that was sent and that has been created, and so it's an integer greater than 0, or it is -1. If order send failed, if all of this failed over here, then the ticket value will be -1. So now let's use this variable ticket to create a failsafe mechanism, and that basically means that we have to branch out our code to account for any situation possible. And that means we have to account for this situation and we have to account for this situation, so we know what to do in either case, or the program knows what to do. So if ticket is less than 0, then we'll do something. And I'm writing less than 0 here. This is basically the same as saying if ticket is -1, and that's that value. But the MQL4 coding convention for checking this particular value of the order send function if ticket is less than 0. So we basically check if it's less than 0, and that the only possible option is when it's -1. It's just the way it has historically developed. So if ticket is less than 0, then we have to tell the trader that something went wrong and that there has been an error. So what we will do is we will send an alert or a message to the trader's screen saying error. And that basically prompts the trader to have a look and try to understand what happened and what went wrong. Then if you remember from the if and else tutorials, we can branch out our code in the other direction by using the else operator. And that means that so this block of code will be executed if ticket is less than 0, and whatever is within these brackets, this block of code will be executed in every other case. So basically if ticket is not less than 0. And in this particular instance, we're just going to tell the trader that everything is okay and that their ticket number, their order has been created, and we'll actually tell them their ticket number is. So here we wrote some text. Now we're going to concatenate the ticket number by first turning it into a string, and we learned how to do that in one of the first tutorials. So we'll quickly compile that and see no errors or warnings, and now we'll give that a go and see how it works in the terminal. So there we go, that's our terminal. And now if we look for tutorial 17, if we drag and drop, we won't change any of the parameters, click OK. As you can see, the order has been created. That's buy order, take profit, stop loss, and it's telling us the message is saying your ticket number is 170719709. So let's go ahead and check that this is the correct number. Down here in the trade tab, we can see all of the orders that are currently exist, and there's only one order. It's a buy order for euro-dollar, size is 1 lot. And its comment is my first order, so that's a hint that that is probably our order. And now let's go look at the order number. And over here, the order number is 170719709, which is exactly the same as in our alert statement. And that basically sums it up. That means that our code has created an order, and it checked for an error. There was no error, and it just told the trader that their order has been created and their ticket number is such and such. So that is how we create fail-safe mechanisms in programming, and this is a basic example, and it does it is pretty simple in essence. It can just get a bit more like them. They can be a bit more code if a bit more fail-safe mechanisms are required in a larger code, but that's basically the idea behind it, just to account for any possible outcome of trading operations and other operations that you do in your code. So I hope that was useful, and that will definitely help us to progress faster going forward. And that's going to be enough for today's tutorial. Have a play around with that, and see how you can use that in your code. If you are watching on YouTube, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel to get more updates when more free videos are released. And I'll see you at the next tutorial. And until then, happy coding.